first we need to understand the contradiction in terms. Spirit is a non-personal, highly personal entity, meaning you have to understand the separation between what we consider to be personal in terms of our perception of ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, our self-image, the sense of self in ourselves, in our existence, has nothing to do with our spiritual life. Only in our spiritual life, meaning everything that has to do from soul of spirit to ghost of spirit to spirit of spirit, has to do with redefining the identity of self through belonging to a whole, and then, only then, you can actually speak about personal, truly personal, and then you will not speak about personal self-image. You speak about personal location and service in regard to the whole. So you can see that the power or fuel that sustain those two different stages or state in us is very different. In both of them, the same law applies, which means that you nourish from the environment. You nourish from the ecology. So it means that both, in order for the ego to survive, it needs an ecology of egos. An ecology of, one can say, of a will, a different or a Kabbalistic term for the ego is the will to receive for oneself is being nourished in terms of definition. What actually will satisfy an ego? You don't know it from yourself. You learn it from that which you are included in from the moment of your birth. It means that having power, having control, sustaining as much as you can influence, so you will be able to coerce others to serve your need. This is the way you nourish yourself. While a spirit, by its nature or by its godly nature, is seeking to nourish itself in order to be able to nourish others. Okay, so, and it has a different purpose in mind, or different purpose in feeling. What actually contribute to its identity is the true relationship that it has with the thought of creation, or with the creator itself. Not the creator itself in terms of who he is, but the qualities of the thought of creation, meaning to bestow goodness to his createes. So it is a different fuel, and therefore different nourishment. Okay. But as a whole, when we speak about eating, because we don't, when we study Zohar, when we study the scope of the way Hari is fanning out the idea of that relationship. When we speak about eating, we speak about grace. Grace being the dress in which we are able, or the stomach, if you want, in which we are able to digest and eat true wisdom. So actually, we try to draw wisdom without that dress into in our corporal life, and as it being drawn, it brings with it judgment, and it brings with it trial for those who misuse it. But then it's an opportunity for those who wish to address it or to eat it with a stomach of grace. It gives them the fuel that they would not, or they would be hesitant to draw by themselves. And this is basically the pivot of that Torah that you are reading of Baal HaSulam. Why actually, the question is, why actually we need to maintain the ego, which is a totally different perception of the Kabbalah concerning corporality than any other religion or spiritual wisdom. It's not to sort of nullify our ego. It's to acknowledge its service in the bigger picture. Yeah. So this is it. Basically, we are, in order to be influential, in a sort of upside down thinking, we wish to be eaten by the higher, but we wish to be tasty. We are tasty when we are in simile in terms of that which the higher is interested in. Okay, this is why, for example, in corporality, you would say this is a nourishment of food befit humans, or this is an food befits animal. In terms of spirituality, what we eat in terms of impressions, we have four food. Yeah, we have you can say solid food, drink. You have breath, and you have electrical impressions. In terms, including with an emphasis on our electrical, which means psychological, educational knowledge, impression. For Kabbalah, what we are eating is food befitting animal. Okay, so in order not to get insulted from this, you need to consider that when you understand it, you understand that there is another possibility. Okay, so this is the two sides of understanding nourishment. Okay, so you can say that in order to separate the two stomachs, if you wish, like the stomach for sweet and the stomach for food, okay, you have to sort of understand how to deny, but you're not denying in terms of nullifying, you're denying in order to harness the power of the yearning, of the passion of one's stomach in order to feed or to use it differently than to satisfy oneself. Okay, so you use this force, you harness this force. The whole creation is actually is to do with how to harness this this passion. The whole issue between Mordechai and Haman is that Haman is necessary in order to give to Mordechai that which will promote Mordechai, because from himself he would be satisfied with what he has. So he, in a way, this state needs Haman in order to cause new power, new wisdom to come into the world, in order for other forces to harness it in the right way. Otherwise it causes wars, havocs, and misery. Okay, so it's about how humanity can actually digest the new light that is coming.